Mark Knowlton. I work for a business called KPS Limited. It's a management consultancy focusing on productivity improvement, quality improvement. Before I got into this business, which I started in 2006, I ran a manufacturing company and was in the manufacturing industry for 25 years and had my lean training at the University of Michigan. And so I guess that's my background. I do some work now for the NHS, putting lean into the NHS, and to companies like Balfour Beatty Rail, and also a number of smaller businesses I work with to help them implement Lean and Six Sigma. Well, Six Sigma, as you know, is just one of a number of continuous improvement approaches. So I use Lean and Six Sigma depending on sort of the state and the level the business is in. Six Sigma particularly, as we were discussing earlier, is really good for variation. So if you're trying to reduce variation in a process, whether it's a variation in the quality, the number of defects in a particular product, or whether it's variation in sort of the way that a service-based business gives customer service, then Six Sigma is a good approach to use. Whereas if you're looking to reduce waste in an organisation, then there's other tools such as Lean. I don't always start with Six Sigma, so I suppose I'd start with, before introducing Six Sigma, I would encourage businesses that I've been working with to focus on continuous improvement more generally, and to ensure that the leadership team is fully signed up to the improvement ethos. I'd probably also start with looking at some of the productivity improvements first using Lean principles. But when there are quality issues involved on a particular process, whether it's, as they service or manufacturing based, I would apply Six Sigma to identify the variability, the level of variability. Six Sigma has a 5-stage process. It's called a DMAIC process, which you've probably heard of. So the 5 steps are to define the problem to begin with, to carry out some measurement activity, and to actually understand by measuring the performance exactly where the variation lies. The third step is to look at analysing the results of that measurement. And then once you've got that, the key part is looking at ways to improve the process you've got, and once you've done a trial of the improvement, controlling that improvement. So I guess the key is really understanding and defining the problem, and then capturing the data to see exactly what variation exists using Six Sigma. Actually, to move from 3 Sigma to 6 Sigma is very hard, because I think 3 Sigma is about 93% performance, and 6 Sigma is only 3.4 failures in a million. So to get from 93% to 99.999 is quite difficult. And I suppose it's really about just taking looking at alternative ideas to make that sort of last improvement. Often by designing different experiments, you can sort of look at ways to make those improvements. So you don't always know what effect any particular change is going to have on a process. So it's necessary to come up with certain ideas, to trial them and see the effect it has. Sigma. And the key to all of this is, we're talking about sort of hard numbers here in Six Sigma. The key is really involving people in the process, because Six Sigma is not about one engineer doing a calculation. Six Sigma and Lean is all about involving the workforce and getting people engaged in the improvement process. So it's a number of brains and not just one. One of the barriers is that there's a number of other things that businesses can do to improve performance before actually getting to that Six Sigma step. So if you're only operating at, say, 70% performance, should you be sort of striving for Six Sigma levels of performance? Really, it's about continuous improvement, the process of continuous improvement. The other barriers, of course, are the training. You need to have a workforce that are trained in these tools and techniques. The leadership team has to be sort of fully behind any program. So, and this doesn't happen overnight. I would say the success is much wider in lean tools and techniques rather than Six Sigma. Very large organisations who have very sort of professional, experienced, well-trained people who have perhaps achieved quite high levels of performance. Ford, GE, Motorola, all these large companies tend to have more resources to invest in focusing on improvement. Smaller businesses, really, there's a lot they need to do before they get to the Six Sigma level. So lean tools and techniques, looking at identifying waste, using other continuous improvement processes before using the Six Sigma tools is often more effective. In smaller businesses, if a specialist in Six Sigma could go in to a smaller business and use their knowledge and capability to go in and do a specific analysis and present their findings to the management team and say, look, I've used these Six Sigma tools, here's the variation, and here's my recommendations. But if you want to involve a whole workforce in improvement, which is, for me, is the key. It's not about one person making the changes, it's about everyone in the organisation getting involved in improvement. I don't think Six Sigma is the best place to start. I would say there are some good lean tools and techniques looking at the 7 wastes, looking at value and waste, and doing things like value stream mapping, where you map out the whole value stream to begin with to identify the opportunities. I think it's probably that's a good place to start. And then once you've narrowed down on where you think the problems are in the business, Six Sigma is something you can use. Even if you know that you've got some really good people there, they want to improve their environment, but you have to demonstrate that the way that the ideas that you've got and the approaches to improvement that you've got will help them in their day-to-day work. You have to get over that barrier. If I come in, I'm a Six Sigma expert. We all know how good this Six Sigma is. You've read about it, it delivers. But if you can't actually get that message across to people, it's a complete waste of time. So I think the key is the start point in an organisation for continuous improvement. How do you switch on those light bulbs of people and get them excited about improvement and get them to, involved in change? Because people don't necessarily want to change. But if they can see a benefit for them, the example you gave, my guess is that they thought, hang on, we're capturing all this information, we're taking numbers, we're doing calculations. This isn't helping me. How's this helping my work environment? I still have all these problems that don't help me get on with my work. So there are more basic things you can do to get people to engage.